Hello everybody, I hope you all are fine. Today we are going to talk about writing a thesis statement. Thesis statement, it is a roadmap. Your thesis statement tells that where your essay would move towards. That is a kind of direction. That is a kind of guide for your readers. They should know what you are going to talk about. Your thesis statement, in fact, is a crux of your essay. That is the central point your essay revolves around. Throughout essay, either you are writing expository essay or argumentative essay, your thesis statement keeps the whole argument focused, and it is a guiding star, you can say, that helps you move in the right direction. Similarly, a thesis statement, not only it gives direction to the readers that they should know what the essay is going to be about, it is that it helps a writer to be focused, keeps the writer focused on the task, that he should not digress, he should not deviate, he should not move away from his position or his central argument. And it arouses interest of the readers. We often say that why your readers should read an essay. You have written something, suppose you have written 2000 words, a piece of writing. Why your reader, why your examiner should read it? There should be something that motivates him, that inspires him, and that is your thesis statement. And if it is a good one, then it arouses, it motivates the interest of your reader that they should read it and they should appreciate at the same time. Your thesis statement reflects clarity and understanding. If a candidate, a writer, is clear about the topic and he knows what he is going to write, only then a thesis statement can be really a good one. Otherwise, thesis statement itself might be a statement that confuses rather, that lacks clarity, that lacks understanding, that lacks a stance, that lacks the fundamental information that you are going to talk about. So, thesis statement is very much important. We need to understand it and we need to practice it. Practice, practice and practice. That brings us close to that. And I would say one thing more, that your thesis statement, it should be specific. Specific. Again I say specific. If your thesis statement is not specific, it might be grand. Again, it lacks clarity. We will be talking about few thesis statements in our lecture, today's lecture, and we will talk about how specific they are. If they are not defined, if they are not clear-cut, they are not specific. They might be grand, they might be general, they might be vague. But if you talk about particular things in your thesis statement, you take a position over there, then it is specific. The way we talk about, like you are going to hire a house or get a house, what would be the prime thing? you would be talking about the location of the house. Its location should be prime. Its location should be good. Its value lies in its location. Similar is the case with your thesis statement. Its value lies in its being specific. Here are a few examples for you. This is first example of a thesis statement. And this is with a concessional for an argumentative essay or topic. I have begun it like that. Though some people argue that economy brings about social stability, comma, it is the education that does so. This thesis statement talks about two things. It talks about that some people believe that economy is important. It can be a cause to bring a stability, social stability. But my stance is, it is the education that does so. I have taken a stance that education brings social stability. What is good about this thesis statement? It talks about the other opinion. Particularly in an argumentative essay, we talk about the opposite opinion also. We understand that there are people who have a viewpoint that is otherwise. Like there are people who believe that if there is, economic prosperity, there will be social stability. But there are people who believe that it is education. By saying this, we make it controversial. A thesis statement that is controversial can arouse interest of the readers. Those who believe that economy brings stability, they also would like to read it, that what is your argument? And those who believe that it is the education that brings about social stability, they also would like to see how you have argued in favor of education instead of speaking for economy. So this kind of thesis statement is in totality and with specification. You have talked about particular thing: economy, social stability, education that brings social stability. The federal and provincial governments should spend at least 10% of the national income on climate, besides educating the public about composting and conservation. This is specific. We have talked about the particular things, that governments, federal and provincial governments, they should spend at least 10% of the national income on what? They should spend on climate, that is our target. And besides that, what we are going to talk about is education of the public regarding composting and conservation. This thesis statement is very much clear, defined and specific. It is going to talk about the role of federal and provincial governments and their role regarding the amount of national income that they should spend on climate change or climate improvement. And it is also going to talk about that this is not the only thing that government should do. There is another thing that can be done and should be done, that is educating the public about composting and conservation. So this is the roadmap now. Your reader knows that what you are going to talk about. Such a thesis statement is comprehensive, though it is a one statement, one sentence, but it is of prime importance for your essay. If you want to score a good score, you need to focus on these things. That writing a good thesis statement is very much important.